welcome up Mava and take it home, okay? Good job.
Okay. Well, it's so nice to see all of you, both here in person and online, and I'm happy to be here. Love wins, always. That's the title specifically for today, but the whole month has been about love. When I read this one, Love Wins Always, I thought about a race, because when there's a race and you win, you're at the end of it. So, but what's at the beginning of the race? I was thinking about that. What's at the beginning of the race where we start to love ourselves? What might we do or consider before we start our spiritual foot race of loving ourselves? After all, we want to love our real selves, don't we? Yeah. So I don't know how to use this, but I'm going to try. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. The slide says, decide, have courage, and persevere. These are 3 things I thought might be at the start of your race. So let's explore that. The word decide is a word of action. Making a decision changes something. It changes everything. From the Latin and Old French roots, this word has a sense of dissolving difficulties, releasing them. In fact, the sense of this word is like cutting it with a sword, sharply and definitively. When you decide something fully, with meditation and prayer, you effectively cut off and release all other options. Words like decide and other words that have C-I-D-E in the end are very powerful. For instance, if you use a herbicide, you will cut out all other options of plants except for the one plant that you want. If you use an insecticide, guess what happens to the bugs? Now, I want you to know I'm not recommending you use any of these things except for decide, which also has that at the end. If you use a rodenticide, that cuts out the option of having rodents, doesn't it? When you decide to love your real self, it is a solemn act. It can be a beautiful ceremony. You can set aside the time to be quiet, to meditate, to surround yourself with objects that you love, thoughts that are in your mind. Make a ritual of it that pertains exactly to who you are as an individual. When you make this decision, this is the starting line of your race. Now, courage. You might find it takes courage to love the real you. Why? Because sometimes people will say things to you that either encourage you or discourage you when you share the real you with them. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're too old. And the ever popular, what? That's crazy. What? That's crazy. A wise friend once said to me, there are no others. And if you can remember that, you'll be just fine. There is only you, your divine mind, and your divine intuition. These things are surrounded by your courage. Your courage is waiting there, existing, for you to embrace it and use it for your good. I'll tell you a little something about myself you may not know. In the 60s, I was a hippie. And if I still am. And if I say so myself, I was extremely good at being one. When I was 22, I got myself a tent and a very badly used up Plymouth Valiant sedan, and I hit the road. And the trip lasted 10 years. Wow. Now, lots of people said to me, you're nuts. You can't do that. It's extremely dangerous. And the very simple, you can't do that. Nevertheless, I followed my dream and hit the road. Did it take courage? Maybe, but I never thought of it that way. And I realize now, looking back, the reason I wasn't frightened and I didn't have to think of courage all the time was because as I was doing that trip, it was always a divinely protected, wonderful adventure. I hadn't discovered science of mind per se then, but I learned these 3 things on that trip for 10 years. Things always get better. Things always get better, and everything always works out. I learned that. And things always improve. And during that time, I felt the brotherhood of people. I really did. I felt that every man was my brother and every woman was my sister. I recall camping next to a pond where a beaver lived. And at 4 a.m. every morning, my alarm clock was the slap of his tail on the pond. I didn't have the internet. I didn't have the iPhone. I didn't have a television. But I had storms in the desert where lightning went all around the camper. And I was part of that crackling, creative energy. My connection with nature was at once intense and lovely. From the tarantula hawk, which is a wasp about this big, who entered the camper one day with a chip on his shoulder. And I think he wanted to sting me, but he didn't sting me. To the soft gaze of the mama coyote who had befriended me in camp. And when she had her adorable pups, she brought them back to show them to me. Looking back, it did take courage, but in the doing of it, like I said, it was always divinely protected, and it was an excellent adventure. Persevere, which is hard to say, so just keep going. In 14th century Old French, this means to continue steadily on a course. Once you make the decision to love your real self, don't waver. Rededicate yourself daily or weekly or hourly, whatever it takes, but don't stop. Within you is God in the very center of your being. Your meditation practice gives you a portable paradise that you can take anywhere with you. It's right there. It's kind of like luggage, but it's within the heart. Your decision to start is the start of your race, to love yourself, and it is sacred. I'll end this with a quote by Yogananda. Before embarking on important undertakings, sit quietly, calm your senses, calm your thoughts, and meditate deeply. You will then be guided by the great creative power of spirit. Love wins always, and thank you. And now we have our next speaker of wisdom, Sylvia.
Thank you, Mava. Thank you. Such an inspirational message, insightful life events, a story to be told yet again. I want to know more about that there tarantula, which I'm going to do it. Anyway, I am honored to share this inspirational morning with you and you. Let us now dive a little deeper into Love Wins 2.0. Whatever questions you may have, love is the answer. Yes. To see and experience more love in this world, let us choose to be love in action. We can live consciously knowing and embodying the truth that love is always the answer, no matter what. Whether moving through unexpected or expected changes, or unlearning lessons of fear, which have been passed down for generations. Everyone deserves to experience a life greater, and a love greater, and a peace greater than they have ever known. Here is a heart truth I read on a birthday greeting card. Life's most amazing adventures are the ones you find following your heart and what? Doing what you love. Such a good class. Ooh. To illuminate more brightly the faith to your heart and the path to your heart, I would love to share 3 jewels of truth which you can deposit into your forever memory bank. Okay. Yes, indeed. Number 1, we are already perfect expressions of life. You just ask Steve Martin. Really? Yeah. Natural healing, spiritual growth, and compassion have always been available to us for ages. Every day we can celebrate the ways in which love wins. We are the divine in action as one. For example, as a child growing up in Kansas, I believed everything I witnessed. I had watched the Disney Peter Pan movie and wanted with all my heart to fly. Well, intuitively, I searched outside and found glittering, shiny pixie dust. I happily stuffed my pockets full of it. Then inside the house, I put some on my head to practice flying by jumping off the end of the sofa. Not too much surprise, I landed directly on the floor. Apparently, because I'm a smart kid, that wasn't high enough for me to take flight. So, back outside I went, climbed to the top of the old shed. I need some music here. And sprinkled a lot more pixie dust on my head. And then, with my arms flapping, I ran across the roof and leaped with tremendous faith. Even though I flew only for a couple of feet before being thrown to the ground, I did it. I flew. Later, after being treated for a cut hand and getting a tetanus shot in the butt, I was sternly reprimanded by my parents and told to stop jumping off high places. And that my pixie dust was a mix of dirt and lots of shiny, glistening, flaky mica. Look it up when you get home. Little did they know that my next leap of faith would have been off the roof of the barn. Thank goodness for their love and lesson. Number 2 point. Conflict provides a miraculous opportunity for us to practice radical forgiveness. We are high frequencies of divine light. The sacred pattern of love is imprinted deeply within us. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes wrote this about love. Love is an essence, an atmosphere, which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common to all people, to all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. For example, dog forgiveness. Stepping on a paw. Who hasn't done that? Really? Yeah, it's an experience, especially if the dog is bigger than you. I backed up and accidentally stepped so hard on the paw of my beloved Orion. And he yelped, screamed, backed up. And I was stunned. I was in shock. Immediately, what's our first response? Oh, my little, oh. And you know what? His eye, I looked at him, he says like, all right, already. I've forgiven you. Where's my treat? Well, so it is. Dogs are great. Number 3, when we love ourselves, we welcome beautiful opportunities to experience authentic love, joy, and peace within ourselves and with others. A bug? You and a bug? Do you see a bug in there? I don't see no stinking bug. Who can tell me what that is? Rob?
Sunflower.
It's a sunflower. What part of the sunflower is it? The very center. This is who we are. The center of a sunflower displays a perfect mathematical pattern of seeds forming in an arc. Do you see that? It's growing in my backyard. The rest of the plant is too. Now, this is about the Fibonacci sequence of numbers. Anybody hear of that? Yep. Like the Nautilus, you know, the little curves. Everywhere you go, we are in the midst of the universe of sacred geometry. Now, the Fibonacci sequence of numbers was first described as early as 200 BC in India in their mathematics. But from my perspective, this is a clear demonstration of divine love revealed. Why? Because we can observe this phenomenon in biological settings where each divine life form can experience what? Successful growth. That's important, or you wouldn't be here. Look, the branching of the trees, how they allow their leaves to have a chance to receive sun and rain. The fruit sprouts of a pineapple. The flowering of an artichoke. Look all around you. It's everywhere. Everywhere. Oh, yes, like we mentioned before, the curved rows of new seeds in the center of this sunflower, which are growing and being born to be providing energy, food, and absolute delight for the world and anybody that wants to consume them. And they get to reseed themselves. Let's not forget the community. The community of humanity has that too. For example, when we sit in a circle and talk around the bonfire. Everybody gets a turn to talk. And this phrase that I absolutely love, there's more than enough limelight on the world stage. Everyone can grow and shine. For example, I love them. I recall as a performer and singer on stage, I enjoyed close camaraderie and learned so much from my fellow performers. We helped each other rehearse our lines from the script and songs. We built trust, flexibility, generosity. We learned stage etiquette. Everybody know what etiquette is? Manners. Yes. And we developed, therefore, mutual respect for all the gifts that everyone had and encouraged each other. Now, a side note. Limelight is not green. It is an intense white light obtained by heating a cylinder of lime, formerly used in theaters. Formerly. Not green. It's intense white light. But what that does, it shines and encourages us to shine. And we're in the limelight. We can look to the right and to the left, and we see that others have joined us. Everybody has a chance at it. Everybody. There are no sticky feet on the stage. Do you know what I mean by that? You always have an exit. Don't stay stuck. Move. Let others shine. Encourage them. That is such great satisfaction. And so I know that we each can respond to conflict or situations around us by loving the people around us, which is far more constructive than whining and complaining. We start by loving ourselves and continue developing, this is important, a healthy balance between self-care and giving back to our communities wherever we are. In the neighborhood, here at home, anywhere, the grocery store, you name it. On the freeway. What a humanity of community there, oh my God. Yes. Well, listen, as we serve by example and share our experiences with the people around us, what happens? We inspire others to do the same. Because why? We are living examples of light, divine energy. We are all like two-legged, light bulbs, but everything is light and connected, heart to heart, mind to mind, hand to hand, body to body. Oh, it's all connected. We are definitely all one. It doesn't make sense when you hear it over and over again. It becomes rote. But let me tell you, remember this. Whatever the question is, love is the answer. So now, I invite you to join me in doing what we do every week. We do an affirmation. Soft, normal voice, and then shout it out 3 times. 3, 2, 1. Whisper. I choose to remain conscious and aware of the presence of love. Normal voice. I choose to remain conscious and aware of the presence of love. I'm going to back up. Come on, let her rip. I choose to remain conscious and aware of the presence of love. Bada bing.
I answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings, take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings, take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings, take flight. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings, take flight. The arms of love await you. With these golden